Look, ultimately, it's really not that hard to date one person at a time. If it doesn't work, you can meet someone new, but I think people are getting into trouble, and I don't think it's conducive to the development of a relationship if you're dating a ton of people at the same time.
But you can go on different dates and not be sleeping with them and stuff. You can just kind of see what you want.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. But then you also have girls that are sleeping with like 3, 4, 5 guys at the same time.
Teach their own. If they're okay with it and their partner's okay with it, who cares?
Honestly,
most men would not be cool. If you ask most men,
most guys live like that.
They're doing it behind your back, so.
I think you just have to know your end goal.
Quite often, yeah.
Of what men do.
I feel like a lot of what you guys have been saying is very indicative of the type of men that you end up associating with. And I think even in a place like LA, like you're talking about a city of 10 million people, you might just be talking about a very niche demographic
the
industry we're in,
makes
exactly.
us 10 times
exactly
more
my point,
difficult to date anybody, first of all. So
but what I'm saying,
you don't meet some random guy down the street normally, no, and then you have people online that maybe might be a fan of yours, or you don't know who they are, or you meet someone with a check mark that's been in the industry that's fucked. So it's like, well, I
guess what I'm saying is your own career aside, like you shouldn't be prioritizing what you're doing when you're looking for someone else, right? Like they have to have their own life, regardless of how it aligns, like professionally. I think a lot of the times I hear girls complaining about how every guy is so trash when like they're sort of just dating a copy and pasted version with like a different haircut of like the same base traits in a dude, an emotionally unavailable and sort of like removed, detached from reality. In a lot of ways that I think you are, in that like you've had a pretty like successful career in your 20s, and I think as an attractive person or a successful person when you're young, when you have that, you have sort of a removal of a necessity for accountability, and you have the ability to sort of say, this is who I am, this is what I want, fuck what you want, I'm gonna put my foot down, and like you haven't really had to ever put your ego aside and just be be an adult for a sec, because you can afford the luxury of saying, fuck you, I don't got to deal with this. I'm rich and I'm hot and I got my own thing going on. Like move along instead of taking a second to like check in with yourself and say, what am I doing wrong here? Where are the parts that I might not be stepping up to the plate in this relationship? And why am I consistently finding people that I don't connect with and that are mistreating me? Am I mistreating myself first and foremost? Am I not giving myself enough love? Because it seems like I'm consistently, you talk about manifestation, it's magnetism too. It doesn't even matter what you're asking the universe for. It's what you're telling yourself too. It's about the relationship that you have with yourself. And I think a lot of women and men are caught in a loop of really just toxic relationships because they have a toxic relationship with themselves. And I think a lot of what that comes from is totally not our fault. And like everybody watching, like we didn't ask for this, right? Like when I was in high school, I started using social media and became like painstakingly aware of the fact that there's just a million options at all times. And especially when you're in the industry or you're an attractive girl, like those options are just always available to you. And so it's been really hard for me to be monogamous and like lock in with people that would have been absolutely amazing for me, that had nothing wrong with them, and that I was the one that fell short, and I had to take responsibility for that and know that because I was in a position where I could afford to be with, really hot girls and like live an incredible life, I didn't take accountability as a man to be the person that a partner would need. And I think that's where a lot of men fall short, is their lack of accountability. And it's the same thing with women. We really have gotten so much ego with no basis, and you have just a generation of people that are so blameless and act like they're God's gift to earth when really we're all looking for the same thing. We want to be loved. Like everybody wants to be loved.
I think men need some work.
Okay, but women do too, and Lexi.
Men just need to be
great, and you're just God's gift to earth, right?
Because I've been an amazing girlfriend.
Yeah. I'm sure you have, but you've also been like consistently talking over people and not allowing space when people are having a dialogue. Like there are certain components of having a mature dynamic with someone that I think you could still work on. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, you've gotten a co-spy and whatever, but like, in order to get the relationship that you're shying away from by having these surface level relationships, you do need to like first do that work with yourself. And I don't mean like checking CoStar. I don't mean like looking at tarot cards. I mean like actually just taking a look at yourself. And I'm not talking to you specifically. I'm talking to everybody, like myself included. I think we all have been barraged with so much information that it has clouded us and clouded our ability to really even know ourselves. And you have to clear that shit out before you can ever like even be the person like you in order to be the person that you like need to be to have that partner. Cause that's where I'm at in my life, right? Yeah. Like I've consistently fallen short with relationships, or they've fallen short for me where it doesn't work. And I keep going, oh, they're just not right. They're just not right. They're just not right. But I think the reality is that I haven't really done that own cross checklist on myself, right? And gone, what type of person am I looking for? What are those boxes that I need to check? And what do I need to bring to the table? What kind of man do I need to be in order to attract that kind of person? Because it's not just going to come to you. And like you thinking that like manifestation only gets you so far. Application is what delivers results. And you have to know exactly what you're looking for and what it takes to get that in order to manifest to that level. You know,
a key component of manifestation is like real, true, genuine effort.
Man, action. That was. Let me shake your hand, man. That was quite the cook.
That was a great stretch. Yeah.
Well done.
And I have a very similar journey too. Like I was super hurt I was hurting people and I didn't understand why. And I had such amazing men that were coming into my life, but really it came down to me. And I had to realize like I was not okay. And I had to do all this healing work to actually be able to like own my feminine and like love back. So it's been like a beautiful process.
For sure.
People sometimes like mirror for you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do a couple super chats that came in here. All right, yo, Marquavius Martin. Sorry we didn't treat this as a TTS. Yeah. Men want purity. We're territorial, protective. We are conquerors. Wanting feminine, unfettering females is in our DNA. We would die for the woman we love. A woman that is run through is not part of the relationship equation for us. She's coarse, vulgar, devalued, already conquered.
Okay, so I think a lot of the times people get caught up in the right and the wrong way to be, and they have this opinion on what that is, and that's totally valid. We're all allowed to have that. But at the end of the day, we're each individually going to have a different opinion on what is right for us, and we should really be able to allow other people to have that opinion and to hold our own opinion on what's right for us. Mm-hmm. And I feel like as somebody who's chosen to be polyamorous or also been monogamous, and for my career choice, a lot of people will apply what they think is the right way to be onto me, not taking into consideration maybe I'm an authentic, honest, communicative, straightforward person who's just my own person and just different. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's really just about finding what's good for you and making sure you're respecting yourself and you're respecting other people, that you're clean, that you're kind, and that you're communicative. I really think at the end of the day, we're all going to have our own idea of what's right for us and what's right in our own in our other partner. Mm.
Well, I mean, this is just Marquavius's comment here is in response to why body count. I'm
talking about the entire conversation.
Yeah, he's saying in terms of why body count matters. So, and one thing that he,
and that's his opinion.
Some people date porn stars and they're fine with it.
Yeah, I've had a lot of partners.
Everyone's different. Individual.
Yeah, I personally don't understand it, but I have met guys who like are into that.
How often have you guys been tested here? How often do you get STD tests?
I mean, I see where you're going with this, but like
usually after every relationship.
That's beautiful. That's really amazing. I go at least once a month, two times a month, if not every 7 to 14
But
days.
a lot of people. So you do traditional adult content, correct?
Yes.
How many scenes do you do per month or week?
Basically, you have to
like 1-2 a week if I feel like it.
Okay, with new individuals, correct?
Yes, who are also tested 7 to 14 days.
Yeah, but I mean the STD rate in the, for example, like HPV and herpes in the porn community, in the adult content community, is far higher than in the general public.
Correct. That's why there are plenty of things and ways that you can prevent that.
Well, I mean,
there are actually, if you
people
study
fuck
the
without rubber
statistics, if you study the statistics of herpes, most people have it in their body, but because they never get tested for it, because they're like, oh, my body count is low, they actually have it in their body, and most people that have it, they just don't have an outbreak.
Sometimes they never know. You don't even get tested for it
So
anymore.
if you think about the way they're recording the information, they're...
Okay, but you're being a little misleading because there's two forms of herpes. There's HSV1 and HSV2.
I'm talking about both of them.
You can have both in both places.
You can have both of them in your body.
Yes.
Most people have at least one form in your body, but they just don't have an outbreak.
Herpes pretty common.
Do you have
nowadays?
genital herpes?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't have it, but I heard that it's very common nowadays.
The cold sore one we're talking about, right?
Well, there's cold sores, but then
your partner could have a cold sore and then give you head or whatever, and then you get it there, even though it's type 1.
You can also get it through birth.
So, are you not going to date anybody because they have a cold sore when it's like 90% of the population?
If your mom has
because
it,
they could eat you out and give you like.
Yeah, but
it's
okay,
so
if you have,
to say.
I don't know if it's HSV1 or HSV2, but like that.
I'm just saying most people. Sorry.
Most people don't have genital herpes.
Look at the.
There's
you don't have a you can't. Sometimes you can't see the symptoms.
Are you guys really defending herpes? Like I'm just like, what the fuck?
No,
they don't even test for it anymore when you get screened.
Defending whatever you
they
feed
don't.
me.
They
because
don't test
everyone
for it.
has it, some form of it for the most part.
I
Like
think
it's
I'd
like
rather date a girl
90%
who
of the
doesn't have herpes.
population.
I'm good on that one.
All I was saying is everybody has their own perspective on the right way to live and the wrong way to live, and we're all allowed that.
Sure.
And I think respect, communication, integrity, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, but look, women are free if you want to have numerous...
And that man is allowed to have his perspective. You're allowed to have yours, and we're allowed to have ours.
Absolutely.